Hey everyone, welcome back to Cooking with Calvin. Today we are going to do a nice sweet treat that is good for this warm weather that we have coming up. It is a lemon meringue cups. You can also adjust the recipe if you want to do a full lemon meringue pie, but this is going to be the basic recipe for the meringue topping and the lemon curd. It's also a really good gluten-free option if you have anybody out there with that dietary restriction. And yeah, let's get into it. So we are doing a reduced size recipe just because we're aiming to get them in these little mason jars. So we don't have too much. So over here, everything over here is for the filling. That's all for the meringue. So we have 3 egg yolks, 2 tablespoons of butter. I have 3/4 of a cup of sugar. I have 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice with some lemon zest mixed into it. I have 1/2 of a cup of water, and then I have 1/8 of a cup of cornstarch. And then over here, very simple. I have the egg whites from the eggs that we grabbed the yolks from. I have 1/2 a cup of sugar, granulated sugar. And I have 2 tablespoons of cream of tartar. A couple important things with this is when you're separating your egg yolks from your egg whites, make sure there can't be any drops of yolk in the egg whites. Otherwise, it's not going to whip up to that creamy, fluffy consistency that we need. If you have any sort of fat in the egg whites, it actually won't whip up the way that you want it to. So be very careful when doing that. Also, it's very important to have granulated sugar in this recipe. Granulated sugar creates traction when you're whipping everything. So if you don't have that traction between the bowl and what you're whipping, then it's not going to whip up the way that you want it to. You're not going to be able to get any sort of texture on it. And then one more thing to add. So I am using salted butter with this recipe, so I don't have that pinch of salt that I would normally have. But if you're using unsalted butter, then you just need a little pinch of salt to go in with the filling. So what we're going to do is we have to get our water, our lemon juice and lemon zest, making sure we get all of that zest, and our sugar. We're going to get all of this onto the stove. Once the sugar has dissolved, in there and we have a little bit of heat with it, we're going to drop in the cornstarch. We're going to cook it until we get the right consistency that we want on it. So while that's happening, we can start the process. This is going to take the longest amount of time, is whipping your egg whites into a meringue. So you just want to get all the ingredients into there. And do some good old-fashioned whipping. Your arm will get tired during this. And we're keeping an eye on this mixture on the stove. If it starts to burn on the outside, then we're going to get a bitter. You're going to burn the lemon on it and it's going to be bitter. It's not going to be the flavor that you want. So all spare time that we have, coming back, just whipping the meringue. Getting there, slowly but surely. egg yolks broken up. Come back to this. So, looks like everything's dissolved in there. Let's drop in our cornstarch. Once that's in there, give it a good stir. Now once you have the cornstarch in there, it's going to thicken up pretty fast once you have it over the flames. You also want to stir it a good amount so you don't get lumps of cornstarch in here. Alright, I'm going to let that go for a little bit. Come back to our meringue. Now if you have a hand mixer, this is probably when it'll come in the most handy. You won't destroy your arm doing this. Alright, that is all nice and thickened up. I mean, you're looking for, you want the consistency to change. I mean, it's almost like a jelly consistency. So, what we are going to do now we are going to temper our hot mixture into our eggs. So, I'm going to go little by little while whisking the egg yolks. So we dropped all the hot mixture into the egg yolks. It would cook the eggs instantly, and then we would have a clumpy lemon curd. I'll just go little by little. What we're doing is we're slowly raising up the temperature of the actual egg yolks without shocking the system. If you have a good amount in there, you be a little bit more liberal with the amount that you're putting in. And this last little bit, just drop it all in. What we want to do is we want to get it back onto the stove. I'm going to do it super low heat, and this is also when we're going to incorporate our butter into here. All right, so we have our mix on the lowest setting, lowest burner on the stove. Come back and just keep whisking this. We're going to keep an eye on that. maybe about a minute or two into it being on the burner, we want to drop all of our butter into there and just kind of fold it in. For this, we're looking for stiff peaks to start forming when you pull this away. Cut it. All right, we pulled our mix off of the stove. About a minute or two in. Once it starts simmering on the outside, you want to get this butter in here. You want to pull it off the stove once the butter is fully melted. If we got to thicken it up a little bit more, then we'll throw it back on. But I have a feeling from the looks of it that we should be all right. Right, so butter fully incorporated. Now is going to be your only chance. Grab a spoon, try it out, see if it's lemony enough for you. And it's all up to preference now. But to me, that's pretty good. But you could add more lemon juice. You could add more lemon zest. But you won't have a chance to make that improvement after it's been refrigerated. So now it's all good. This is exactly where we want it to be. We are going to get this into whatever vessel we want to serve it in. And then we're going to put this right into the fridge. Beauty of it is you can put it overnight, so we can do this ahead of time, let it sit overnight, finish it off when our guests arrive the next day. But at minimum, it's going to be about 4 hours before you can actually serve this. It'll be fully cooled, fully set. So let's pop that into there and then go from there. All right, back here, back from my workout with my lemon meringue. So we have nice stiff peaks every time we play with it. So here is the fun part. Put a nice dollop. Do a couple little designs with it. And then you want to grab your torch. We're going to lightly toast the outside. Now, if you don't have a torch handy, you could also put it under your broiler setting in your oven very fast. But the torch is much more fun, in my opinion. So there we go. Other alterations to this we could do is if you want like more texture in the cup, you could crush up some graham crackers and put them in between the lemon curd and the lemon meringue. You could do cut up butter cookies, but that's for like more textural balance on it. I mean, otherwise you could just, that's how I like to eat it. It's perfect too once it comes out. The top part will be nice, a little bit hot, and then the bottom part's cold. So it's really, really perfect for those upcoming summer nights and summer evenings that we're about to have. So until next time.